Maynard liked to pull practical jokes, not really anything elaborate or mean, never anything mean, but just like little put ons, things like that, things that would be little inside jokes. So we were playing a high school, and they put Maynard in a room that was off a main hallway, and his dressing room kind of went back straight. It wasn't even a dressing room, it was probably some faculty room or utility room, I'm not even sure. But if you look, there was a door that was in the main hallway. There was a little window about eye level, 12 inches by 12 inches square, with that chicken wire in the glass, that kind of thing. And if you looked in, you could see Maynard warming up. And we're in a high school somewhere. I don't know where it was. And the room would go in, and then it was shaped like the letter L. So there was a section that went off to the right that you couldn't see from the hallway. So Maynard would be warming up. And when he warmed up, he did the same. A lot of people warm up, they play the same thing all the time. It's just habit. You need to feel good, you need to feel right, and then as soon as you feel right, then you're okay. So Maynard winds up warming up, and his warm up was, I remember it being something like da 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 da, you know, one of those, or something like that. But I went da 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 da. I don't know what that is, but anyway. Maynard's warming up, and he sees the kids. I mean, he can sense like 5 or 6 kids in the hallway looking through the window. Oh, Maynard's warming up. And this is maybe about an hour and a half before we play, or we're getting ready to go on. And Maynard knows these kids are looking. Sometimes Maynard would put a piece of paper or something over the window so he would have privacy. But for some reason, he didn't do that. So kids are watching him, and. So he gets Joe Baratti, who's a great trombone player, great guy. Oh God, Joe, great. And you get these great trombone players, bass trombone players like Bill Reichenbach and Dave Taylor. There's just great bass trombone players that can play anything and go really low and have great sounds. Well, Joe Baratti is one of those players. So these kids are watching Maynard, and Maynard says, "Hey, go get Baratti. Will you get Baratti?" So he gets Joe Baratti. Joe Baratti comes in. He tucks Joe into the L part of his room, the part that you can't see if you're in the hallway looking in. So Maynard's warming up, and he has a signal for Joe that when Maynard acts like he's playing a note, Joe plays some real low, like double B flat, or some really low note, not just a low note like, but those notes on bass trombone that are so low, you can hear the flapping of the lip. Each individual flap, like, go, 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 go. Like just a really, really low note. So I'm outside in the hallway, and I know that Joe's tucked around the corner. So Maynard's warming up, and he hits some high notes. He's playing and all these kids are gathering around, and then he gives a signal to Joe, which the kids can't see, like Maynard may have winked or something, and he gets his trumpet and he goes, like he's really going to play. And when he comes down, Joe plays, and then Maynard rips the trumpet from his mouth and goes like that. And the kids in the hallway are freaking out. They're looking at each other like, oh my God, they're saying, oh my God, he could really play low too, really low notes. So some of these kids are trumpet players. Later on, you see them with their trumpet, and they're trying to play these pedal notes. Oh, man, they were never going to get that note that Joe Baratti laid out. Just some beautiful low note, and it was a perfect skit, and it was funny. And Maynard never let on. So the kids, whoever these kids are today, they're adults now, they think that Maynard could really play that low. Oh, man. And for another, like, I don't know, for $150 more a week, I loaded in the gear. So we would unpack the stuff from the bottom of the bus, and that stuff's all in big cases. We would roll it in, we'd set it all up, and we would show up before Maynard because the equipment needs like a couple hours to set up. So we'd break it down afterwards, and that's how we made a little bit extra money. So we do that, and uh, Christmas lights. Anyway, we set everything up, and in the back of one of these racks, they're called racks. You take off the back panel, you can see all the wires that, what speakers go where, what lines are going in and out to what, and we would always have some high school kids or college kids helping us schlep the gear in and helping us set up. We would tell them, put this there, put that there, and they were very happy to help, and it was great to have them because it took some time. So Maynard would sometimes show up as we were setting up, and Maynard would look at the back of this one, there's one rack, and it had all these wires, like 100 wires just going from one thing to the other, and they were already set up. There was really nothing to do, but Maynard would come over and look at it, and we would start. It would be a part of a bit. We would say, "Hey, boss, thanks for soldering the grommet to the bushing to the bypass," and he's like, "Yeah, we should get that circuit fixed." And he would start pointing to the back with all these wires, and he was just making up crap. And these high school kids are looking at him like, "Oh my God, Maynard's thinking, I put the bypass circuit in there because it flipped the breaker, but the old breaker wasn't any good, so I had to solder it last night." And the kids are like looking at each other, saying, "Oh my God, Maynard is a technical wizard here. He's soldering and fixing all this stuff." Oh man. Well, it was all harmless, but boy, it was funny. He liked the shtick. He liked to put on. The put on, that's kind of what it is, a put on.